Welcome back. It's Laura at Hyperstamper. I just finished this junk journal that is moon themed. I know that sounds a little funny, but I've actually met quite a few people lately who study moon cycles and the energy of the moon. So I thought I would start collecting moon ephemera. So I finally have enough authentic, vintage, and antique moon themed ephemera to fill this book. And this is a book from 1910 and it was called The Money Moon. I covered up the word money on the cover with some trim and this beautiful vintage brooch here and some vintage beads, vintage necklace pieces. Look how pretty that is with the mother of pearl there. And a little bit of lace on the top here. And it's got this beautiful gold embossing. So yeah, I thought this was a perfect home for a book about the moon. So let's take a look inside before I put this on Etsy. Hyperstamper.etsy.com is my shop. And I've got some pretty clusters up here. And then this is the original first 2 pages of the book. So the first plate here and the money moon and the publication date here. And so look at this. This is one of my favorite postcards. I have actually had this on my shelf for years. It's rare to get a nighttime antique postcard because everybody wanted daytime postcards. That's where you see all the scenery. But this is so beautiful and almost haunting. It's just gorgeous. And it is from 1908. And it's got the date up here and a little note. And I just think it is absolutely stunning. And it's got the moon up there. So it's, yeah, time to give it up. And I hope whoever gets this journal really, really loves it as much as I've loved it. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, and the cow jumped over the moon. There's another page from the book, and then here is a lovely little moon poem from a children's book from 1930. This here is just yellow, like the moon. So it is an original Arborite sample from the 1940s and a rare double-sided one. So I just thought that was really a fun piece. Little acts of kindness there. And an antique, a vintage 1950s receipt there for extra journaling. This here came from an antique history book, or lessons book. And this is all about the moon and the earth. There's pictures of the moon there. And here is another moon picture from a 1940s children's book. Antique page here for extra journaling space, and just a cute little journaling envelope here from an antique page. And this plate here is spectacular. It is from 1927, and it says the Earth and Moon hanging in space as seen from Venus, which is pretty cool because how did they know what it would look like in the 20s, right? So yeah, beautiful 100-year-old plate there, moon, earth, perfect, absolutely beautiful. Another fun cluster here, another page about the moon. There's the surface of the moon, and there is a crescent moon there. You can see the crescent here. And then over here are the different moon phases, which is kind of fun. And there is the moon as seen through a telescope. And this here, don't be stuck, is just a beautiful little antique page, and it's got the moon with the boats as well there. I love the burnt. I've got the feeling this book was beside a fireplace. I loved that page there. And then this here is from 1925, Cradle Song. And you've got the crescent moon here and the little child falling asleep. It's got to have some crochet in there, right? And this is a beautiful full page here. You'll see the part on the other side, but I love this. It's the surface of the moon and the names of all the craters and the Sea of Serenity. Serenity now. Okay, and then this is just a beautiful night picture here again. That's also from the 1930s. And this is beautiful. This is from the early 1900s. It's actually got, it's hard to see, but it has a little fairy here and the moonbeams coming from this crescent moon. And it's just a beautiful little poem. I put antique paper on the back for extra journaling space, and that's very precious. Interior spine of the book. And then here is another poem about moons. Moon so round and yellow. Isn't that great? I'm so excited. I couldn't believe there's this much moon ephemera. Here is another little song about the moon, Mr. Moon. And look at this from 1930 or 20. This could be, this is actually from the 20s. Yes. A boy and girl flew away to the moon. And there's the moon up here. Isn't that sweet? Oh, I love it. And then here we have, sorry, there's another moon shot here, a little fairy. And then the elves here, trying to find Mr. Moon. And here again are the phases of a rabbit moon, lady moon, man moon, and upside down man. It's fascinating. I actually learned a lot about the moon doing this. This is just the name of the man who had that book page. What the Moon Saw, another 1925 story here. And there is the rest of that page with the surface of the moon here and the names of the different craters. I love it. This here is, it's not moon themed, but I loved it anyways, and I didn't think everything had to be moon. So this is just a beautiful 1937 page, and it's just got the most beautiful advertisements and illustrations and fashions in it. I just thought that was, had to have some fashion in everything, right? And I don't think I didn't look for moon fashions. I did. Could not find a single one. And then over here I made a little pocket with this rabbit and the moon. And this is the moon and how it affects the tides. And that's on top of an antique book cover piece. And here is another, The Wind and the Moon poem. Another antique book page here. And look, another moon. Look how cute. Hushabye, hushabye. And this more sun and moon. There we go, what the earth looks like from the moon. And look at this one. This is one of my favorites. It's a very famous plate, and this is an original, The Old Man in the Moon. And if you Google that, you can find that. It's a very sought after plate. In the Dark, also more moon stories. And this, of course, Wink and Blink and a Nod, the story of them flying off to the moon there. And this is from the original book here, The Money Moon. And again, we have more different times of day where the moon moves through. And just a nice little journaling card here and some vintage buttons. Thought that was just fun. Yep, they're not moon related. Now this was the cover of a book that was in too rough of shape to use, but it says From Sun to Earth. And what's between the sun and the earth? The moon. So I thought that was kind of fun journaling card. And again, just another really cool page, not moon related. However, it's got some really hilarious advertisements, and that is from a teen music magazine from 1955. So we're going to tuck that back in there. Problems asking through questions. This is a math problem. Distance from the sun to the earth. And we've got the moon in the middle. And another Moon So Round in Yellow. Beautiful little poem here. Fun little children's page. These are all antique books. This one's a vintage. Again, Hey Diddle Diddle, a different illustration here. And in the pocket here, I have this wonderful page. And look at that. The moon photographed through a telescope. And that is from the 1920s, so 100 years old. Judging by appearances, we've got the moon and jack-o'-lantern. Another moon poem here. And I did this one because the bunnies are running to the moon there. And here's another one. When the moon gets between the sun and the earth. All about eclipses. And I had to have a bird in here. Always have to have a bird in my books. So I hope you love it as much as I loved making it. And don't forget to subscribe. Come back soon. Bye for now.